Hello, everyone. I hope you're well. Today, we're going to discuss one of the key concepts of phenomenology, in particular Husserlian phenomenology, intentionality. And this concept is key for a variety of reasons, but in particular, when we work in mental health, uh, anthropology, psychology, social studies. Um, what is intentionality? Let's start from here. Intentionality is a word that comes from Latin, intendere. Um, so it's basically this tension that explains one of the biggest mystery of philosophy. At least for me, it's very compelling mystery, which is how is it possible that I don't know, this cup that I see here and it's outside of me and it's practical, it's concrete, becomes inside of me something different, becomes a kind of a mental image, especially if I look at it just from this perspective. I would, mm, and I don't know that is a cup, for example, I would retain just this specific image of the cup, just this specific corner, and maybe I will keep wondering, what is this? Is ceramic? Is this a book? Is this a phone? And so on and so on. Then, maybe I can do this, and then I can do that, and then I can do this, and I create little horizons of expectations that can tell me, I saw something like this before. This is a cup. So the essence of the cup, what makes every cup the same as the other, is that it contains liquid from which I can drink. So I can encounter multiple cups in my life in different shapes and forms, but I know that each one of us are okay in naming this a cup, because the essence of a cup is drinking from it. So this is the biggest mystery of intentionality. In ancient Greeks, we defined with Plato, for example, intentionality as the paron apon, meaning this presence that is absent at the same time. Because when I say cup, I say something that I had present a minute ago, but now is absent in a concrete way, but is present in my mind. So intentionality is this tension that connects us with the world, and entangles us with the world constantly, with every phenomenon, and allows us to be in the world according to a reality that we shape based on this connection. So it's something extremely complex, but at the same time marvelous, because it gives us the key to enter into the things themselves. If you're familiar with philosophy, you know that Kant, in another very brilliant way, told us that we cannot know the noumenon, we cannot know the thing in itself, because it's just nous, it's just something we can think, but we cannot be in the thing itself, because yeah, we don't know what it is like to be a cat, but we don't know what it is like to be your dog. Yet, you know how to enter into this relationship with the things themselves through the intentional relationship, because as far as you live, you entangle an intentional relationship with life. I have clients in my office that tend to look at intentionality as, you meant to do this, you have an intention. They tend to give to intentionality always an active meaning. And of course, intentionality can have also this active meaning. But in general, intentionality is your life as it as it tends to the life of the world, as it interconnects to the life around you. So there is certainly an active component to intentionality, but as we live, clearly we cannot control all that is happening in us. Yeah, while I'm sitting here, there's a part of my body that might be tired from having run before, or there's another part of my body that is, I don't know, thinking about feeling some hunger, and soon enough, the organic mother in my body will knock knock on my attention to say, hey, maybe you need to find some food here, and so on and so on. So intentionality has a wide array of objects to be about to tend to be referred to. And the phenomenological analysis is there to say, okay, I'm really curious about this lived experience, this phenomenon as it appeared to me. I want to get a description. And where do we go in this description? We go toward the lived experience, the sense of reality that someone has built. So, as it is for this cup, can you imagine how difficult might be when we try to describe depression, or we try to describe schizophrenia? You know, when we have a phenomenon that we can touch and see, it's extremely simple because we already agreed on the essence of this phenomenon, even if sometimes it's hard to describe the essence of a daily phenomenon. But more or less, we agreed on that. When we discuss phenomena that are very much connected to our psyche, phenomenology becomes extremely precious because it's completely focused on the intention, on the lived experience. And so instead of using heuristic tools that are pre-given and they define how things are and how we should behave and how we should react, we go inside this lived experience and we see how the reality of a depressed individual might look like and what's the essence of that experience. We can create horizons of expectations that are based on a much more complex lived experience. In that sense, phenomenology is applied on sociology, ethnography, mental health, because it's attentive to give a point of view that is respectful of the lived experience we are examining. In that sense, we realize that there are many ways of experiencing reality. So the reality is not just this cup, but it could be many different ways in which we conceive the reality of the cup, or depression, or sexuality, and so on and so on. And the data that we receive from our brain are not and cannot be the full definition of what we see. Certainly, the brain is this essential tool we have to perceive, to receive data. But the data is not something that is out of there. We examine it and then we give an answer. Our brain is embodied. We are mind and bodies. We are completely embedded in a network of meanings and intentions and forms that make sense for us in a specific moment in time. So whenever we step into the world of meanings, we cannot just take data. Uh, yeah, it could be a starting point, but this data need to be embedded, need to be observed in the life world as a presence that functions for. me, for the person I'm describing, for the lived experience I want to bring to light. If we try to describe knowledge as something that is out there, that is abstract in the sense of um, taken away from life, nothing true remains to us because the thing in itself, the meaning, the essence, the sense of what we are looking for is exactly placed in this intentional relationship that we uh, have with the world by nature as human beings. Even if, and there are beautiful studies on autism, even if we are on the spectrum and we are poorly functional, so we cannot express much, we cannot show much. That doesn't mean that there's no intentional relationship. There's a world there. There's an intricate connection of meanings and sense that are embedded with the interaffective um, relationship around this person, and it's up to us to question our intentional relationship with that world and see how the Mitwelt, it's called in phenomenology, these in between worlds function with each other, and what kind of sense, affections, meaning they can bring to the fore. So this is another little pill connected to the very complex topic of intentionality. But I hope that I managed to give you a little bit of the essence of the main features of this very complicated but initial and essential concept for phenomenology. I wish you all a wonderful day. See you next week. Bye, everybody.